I think that's another mistake a lot of competitors make. They believe just the high rep pump is all you need. It's definitely not the case. You want to minimize muscular loss. That's what's going to make you look better on stage. More muscle mass and leaner, okay? So I'm going to do a carb cycling approach this time. Multiple medium days, some low days. I'm going to probably go with every 3 weeks right now. I will do a 3-day consistent high carb. When I mean high carb, I mean abnormally high. Hitting the 400 gram mark. Really replenishing all muscle glycogen. Mentally, physically, everything. Energy. And then go back into the same carb cycle that I was doing before. What's up, everyone? Back with you on an update on the cooking. So these initial 4 to 5 weeks that I've been putting up some content of posing, cooking, things like that. That stage is what I call a pre-prep. All right, so pre-prep to me is getting on track with doing your nutrition, doing your meal prepping, things like that, but not being completely mentally all in. Okay, the reason I do that is because I think physiologically, psychologically, that going from all out to all in is just setting yourself up for failure. It's setting yourself up to dread the prep, to become miserable throughout it. So what I tend to do is called a pre-prep, where I'm basically about 80 to 90%, on task perfectly. But if I have some urges and things like that, I will indulge in them sometimes. But still trying to keep a consistent calorie goal and things like that. So I think it was 4 to 5 weeks. I'm not really sure. But I feel right mentally. I feel prepared to go. That show's about 12 weeks away, 11 weeks away. I think I'm in a good spot as far as condition-wise and things to really hit that hard and get stage lean like I need to be. I think a mistake people make when they're trying to compete is they believe they don't have to lose as much as they actually need to lose. That is one thing I made my very first show. That was my mistake. I went by based on calculations and numbers and everything that looked good on paper. But when it came down to it, I wasn't 100% the entire 12 to 15 weeks. I got lackadaisical a few times, and I came in soft that I shouldn't have been. The last show I just did, I realized that I learned from it. Gaining more knowledge over the years, understanding more nutrition, the training side. I knew, hey, I got to be extremely lean. What I think I need to be a little bit leaner. I did that, came into the show, the leanest on stage, perfect conditioning, and that prep went well. So what I do, I always do like a pre-prep. I will prep my meals. I will be really consistent. I'll try to get my training figured out, my cardio figured out, but I'm not all in mentality as far as like, oh my gosh, I cannot have one little thing. If I have a little urge, I might do it once a week. If socially people want to do something, I might go out. I might have that meal. I might do some fasting or something to make it work. But I'm not extremely at 100% dialed in. Now I'm going into actual prep. So I am going to be Tupperware. Every single thing will be tracked. I will have Post-it notes of every single meal, exactly what's in that meal, the exact day that I want to eat that meal. Because what I'm going to do now is a carb cycling approach. I'm going to try to utilize muscle glycogen, utilize how full I am, kind of minimize the bloat and things like that, because I do bloat pretty heavily off of carbs. It could be a gut-related issue. It could be minimal food allergies. I'm not 100% sure. I haven't got all of that completely checked and tested. But that's just how it goes. That is one of those things that I will have to, over time, learn and fill out and kind of continue getting better from that. But carb cycling, it's basically just what it is. You still have your controlled calories, your controlled protein, but depending on the type of training day, if it's an off day, rest day, etc., I will do very low carb, I'll do average carb, or I'll have an extremely high carb day. What I'm going to do this time around, I will not have my weekly high carb days. I will have more medium days and a few low days. I'm going to play with that. I'm going to do every two to 3 weeks, I will have a 3-day consistently of high carbs. There was some recent data that came out. I cannot remember the exact name of the study, but it had one group hardcore deficit consistently. It had another group doing deficit maintenance, alternating those every 2 weeks. And there was some really good results and feedback from that. So I believe refeed days, I was doing that one time a week. I don't know if that had much benefit or not. Toward the end, I would see a difference in my change, but I don't know as far as energy and things like that. So I'm going to give it a 3-day refeed every few weeks instead of just once per week. And like I said, that's just trial and error and learning for myself. I don't know if that's exactly what I need to do. I know if calories are controlled, proteins controlled, it's going to be okay. I know, from a physiological standpoint, that's what truly matters when we're trying to lose body fat, as long as I feel great, physically and mentally, as well as performance. Because my goal on prep's not just worried about my stage look. I still want to be able to perform in the gym. Obviously, strength's going to come down, but I want to minimize that as much as possible so I'm not having to catch back up when prep ends. I think that's another mistake a lot of competitors make. They believe just the high rep pump is all you need. It's definitely not the case. You want to minimize muscular loss. That's what's going to make you look better on stage. More muscle mass and leaner, okay? So I'm going to do a carb cycling approach this time. Multiple medium days, some low days. I'm going to probably go with every 3 weeks right now. I will do a 3-day consistent high carb. When I mean high carb, I mean abnormally high. Hitting the 400 gram mark. Really replenishing all muscle glycogen. Mentally, physically, everything. Energy. And then go back into the same carb cycle that I was doing before. I think I'll have a lot of good results from that. I think the more medium and low carb days are going to help me with my gut, digestive issues, things like that. As far as how I feel, I've noticed that I feel a lot better when I don't have a lot of carbs, regardless of calories, if they're matched. So that's something I have kind of noticed over the years of doing my own thing and learning, that I tend to do better off of an average carb day and not necessarily high. So there's a lot of advocates out there that they will preach, oh my gosh, you can still do a high carb. Yeah, you can. In a perfect world, if calories are controlled and you do low or high carb, yeah, that is going to show they can do it. But if you're doing high carb and you're feeling bloated, discomfort, your energy starts getting low, things like that, why do that? Why do you want to be miserable? If you feel better doing a little higher fats and lower carb, if your calories and protein are the same, definitely go that route, okay? Don't only look to data and research for only thing you believe in, no matter what. You got to listen to your body a little bit as well, in your own personal feedback. All right, so that's just kind of a little tip for you. I know social media can be terrible and great at the same time, and I think that's something kind of we misplace and really we interpret the wrong way. So that's kind of how I'm going to do this prep. I am now officially in full prep mode. Cardio is going to be hit every time I need to be hitting it this week, or each week. Calories are going to be perfect. Everything's going to be prepped. There's no off meals or none of that. I'm about to be making a move in 1 week. I'm going to get there. I'm going to have meals with me. I'll do all the moving. I'll eat the meals. The next day on a Sunday, I will prep all my meals again and get ready with my new job, new work schedule, and try to really stay honed in on that. When you're trying to compete, yeah, for your own personal thing, that's great. But I mean, you also want to win. There's no need to go through all this stress and things like this to not win. I don't understand that. People are just doing it to do it. That's great. But I want to be the best at what I'm going to do. So I'm going to make sure there's no stone unturned and make sure I do everything in my ability to win. If I can do all that, and get beat, so what? I did literally everything in my power to make sure I came in the best possible package. Did not slack one day on this prep, and I learned stuff from it, okay? That's the mentality I kept last prep. Went great. So I'm just going to learn a little bit about it myself again, go through the whole process again, except I'm going to do it slightly different to see if there's a better outcome. So that's where I'm at right now. I'm in actual prep. So we're fully in. I'm doing mushrooms, zucchinis, carrots, grilled chicken, and rice. That's what I'm sticking to. I might toss in some kale. I might toss in some other meats. But as of right now, I kind of want to get everything pretty strict. Like I said, I've been having gut inflammation, some other issues digestively. So I'm going to try to eliminate all those things and see what it is I can add in. So only meat for now, chicken and salmon. I know salmon I do great with. Those are going to be my two sources only. So it's pretty bland. But competition's not supposed to be all fun and games. It's not supposed to be having a great time every day. It's about a sacrifice to do something your body's not really truly wanting to do, but it's cool to see that it's capable of doing it. So that's kind of the mindset I'm entering in with it. I'm ready for it to kind of get sucky. I'm ready for the energy to get a little low. That's what makes everything look kind of cool when you look back on it once you're all said and done. Okay, so we are officially in it. I'm getting all these things prepped, and we're going to start like I would be competing in a show on a Saturday. I'm going to go ahead and prep this so I can start tomorrow on a Friday, and that'll be in line with my weeks, okay, instead of starting on a Monday. All right, I don't compete on a Monday. I compete on the weekends. So we're going to work on those variables. We're going to see what we got and see if I can come in better than the last show. See if we can get first place. So I plan on competing at the Derby. It's what I competed in 2 years ago. I'm going to try to compete in that again. And just compare my shots 2 years, 2 years, you know. This will be the second year mark, so that'll be kind of cool to see the difference how I look on stage, if I brought up any weak points, if I improved conditioning and size, just things like that. It's all, this game is all a learning process, you know. That's why I love personal training. I love helping people. You know, it's a thing you continue to learn your entire life. The body, we're always learning new things. We're always figuring out things. You got to stay on top of your game, and I think the best way to do that as a trainer coach is you got to put yourself through some extremes. You got to get some data for yourself and stay up to date on the research to see if there's things you might change over time based on some principles that are coming out through research that seem pretty clear. Research can be up and down. One can say this, the other one can be the opposite. That's why you got to look for the middle ground of the principles. So that is it for the prep. I'll check back in next week.